Happy population wants more than just the very basics. Also wants some luxuries. For example, I cannot imagine life without solid gold mother of pearl jacuzzi. Wow, that's expensive. There are such a pleasures to keep. In this case, the peasants, their luxury resource are fish and wool. We'll need to build 2 new cities, one for sheep, one for fisheries. Sheep farms can be built on any green fertile trials. Fisheries must be built on fishing grounds. Spend your night and go scout. Highlight the towel shows the shore. So basically they're telling you where the shore is. The shore is here. So you need to go send your fucking knight out here to fucking find the shore so you can start doing the fishery shit. This unfortunately is a bit far from my other towns though, so that kind of makes me upsetty spaghetti. But we should have plenty of grassland to the south here. So, or do I have enough? Let me see here. Yeah, I think I have enough here. Provided I can build on this brown stuff here. Build my city, build my towns here along the shoreline, the river line, whatever it's called. I could put a city here and then exploit out these tiles around it for cheap. And then these guys over here, they can take, Oakshade can take to the right of that and take those tiles, these 3 tiles here to the right of Oakshade. And then, yeah, depending on what's down in this corner here at the bottom of the screen, we should be able to use this, I think. Of course, I could also explore to the right of Oakshade, and if I do that, then there's a good chance that there might be more land out there for me to use. We'll see. Have 8 inhabitants at once, 25 wood trade, 25 potato trade. Cities built, I need to have 4. 2 fisheries built, that's obvious. Sheep farms built, 2, that's obvious. And what else is there? Scout the shorelines, yeah, we need 4 fishing grounds to be scouted, that's basic level bullshit. And, yeah. Produce potatoes, produce wood, produce fish, produce wool. Alright, we're doing pretty good here on some of the quote-unquote side quests. I like when games, I don't know if this game's going to be like that because this is again in a demo, because I believe this, unless this game came out in the time since I recorded this video about a week or 2 ago. Well, not really a week or 2 ago now. I guess it was less than that, a couple days ago. Unless this game came out, you know, this is still in tutorial mode, and I'm sure they're working out some of the, maybe some of the kinks that might be in here. Hard to say though. Yeah, I think I probably should have built, see where that little flag is to the south of where I built Hillmore? I think they wanted me to build this city like roughly in that area because there's 2 fishing spots there. Instead I built Hillmore up here towards the north where there's 2. There's a second fishing spot that Sir Ulrig or whatever his name is, Volrig, is about to discover, but I think they wanted me to build it here because that would give me access to 2 fish, put the city right north of, or maybe even not north of it, just place the city somewhere, you know, close to it so that you have houses and fishing spots and such. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As long as it's broad, I suppose. Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces from your kingdom, whereas the other marked area looks to be about 6 spaces as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so as long as it's broad, I suppose. Sure, there's also probably going to be an arrow for where I should build my sheep farm. You can technically build it anywhere. I mean, you could, if I wanted to, I could literally build it, well, I couldn't build near Highmere, but I could build it north of, what's the other city here? Let me see. What's the city? I'm kind of away from it right now, but to the left diagonal of the castle keep, I could technically build a sheep farm over here with a little bit of wood, maybe. Hard to say. I don't know this game well enough to know if it makes more sense to build a city near 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wood tiles, or if that ultimately doesn't matter. Hard to say. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-bum. So he has a lot of basic economy bullshit right now. We got our fisheries unlocked, so now I produce some fisheries. Next, I'm gonna research sheep farms. Once sheep farms gets unlocked, I'll build a 3rd city. Again, I probably should just build it diagonal left of the Oakshade, but I have Sir Orwin kind of looking around in this area, so I may just build it over here towards where Sir Orwin is. I don't know if that's gonna be smart or not, because I feel like the closer you can keep, like, the castle, excuse me, either keep your castle at the center of all of this where everything sort of pours into the castle, or you can at least create a triangle or a square between the cities so that they're all equal distance from each other. That might make more sense. I don't know, hard to say. I didn't really think this through too much when I was started building. I was just like, yeah, I'll just do this. I'll get through the tutorial. It won't be too much trouble. So, I guess I can tell a quick story while we're doing some bullshit here. So I've got a lot of BS in my house, and by BS I mean I've got a number. I like DVDs, first of all, let's put it that way. So I've got a couple series that I really like, and I wanted to keep sort of long term in case I ever want to rewatch them. American Dad is definitely on that list. I've got every season of I've got the first 12 volumes of American Dad or so. I'm sure they're up to probably closer to 20 now. I just sort of fell off of watching American Dad when it went to TBS. Not that I don't have TBS. I think I have TBS on my cable package. I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of streaming, a lot of YouTube, but not a lot of actual cable television / satellite television anymore. Anyhow, I've got certain series that I absolutely loved and decided to buy on DVD, whether they be... I like South Park too. I bought all of South Park up to like... Well... Again, I sort of fell off buying some of the DVDs in the last 5 years or so. So they're probably up to what, like volume... I want to say 30. That's probably too aggressive. They're probably somewhere in the 20s, I imagine. But sort of to get to the point of my story, I have a quote-unquote bookcase. It's not really a bookcase. It's more of like a, I don't even know how to explain it. Anywho, I have a wood thing that kind of looks like a bookcase, but you could also kind of use it for other things like storing dishes. In this case, I'm planning on turning it into sort of like a mini bar. It's not going to be a bar like, yay, we're all going to stand around, sit on stools, and I'm going to serve you beers behind the bar, and, you know, we're going to have a yuck good time. But rather, it's just going to be basically a place to store, like, beer glasses, beer steins, hard liquor, martini glasses, that sort of stuff. It's going to be one of the things that basically, if you want to have like a gin and tonic, there's a low ball glass and the gin's in the bottom shelf or something. So previously I was using that for storing DVDs and some of my books. So I bought a bookcase. Now, I didn't buy a bookcase off of anyone in particular. I got it kind of used. I got a used bookcase, particle board bookcase that I probably will not bring with me if I ever leave this house. But it's good enough for storing what I wanted to store. And I used a site called MacBids, which is kind of local to my area. There, you may have one closer to wherever you're located. But basically, they buy up things that Amazon returns, and when you return shit to Amazon, I don't think they resell that stuff. I think they just basically put it on a pallet and sell it off to a place like, congratulations, you have created an economy. It'd be a perfect place to buy a holiday retreat. You know, the type of little tower where I can put up my feet and look out over my domain and watch all that bullshit. So for the tower, you're going to need extra resources, so don't forget to do some research. So basically, it's trying to tell me, hey, you need to reduce some research so you can increase your efficiency, and then you need probably all of this bullshit, wool and wood and planks, not only to feed the 1, 2, 3, 4 cities that you have, but also we need to use to build a tower, which is going to be the last thing we need to do to complete this mission. Anyway, what I was saying was I bought, bear with me when I say this because it's going to sound a little weird. I bought 2 bookcases because when you buy stuff off of a place like MacBids, you're not always guaranteed, but you're probably buying something with damage. And in this case, that's true. One of the particle boards on here was damaged. But it worked out for the best because MacBids works in like a bidding site. So all the bids start at $0, 0 cents. If nobody bids, it stays at 0 and they throw it in the garbage can, I imagine. But if you bid on it, you pay whatever you are going to pay, plus there's a premium price, I think it's like 35%. So say you bet $1 and you win, you pay $1.35. If you bet $10, now you're paying, what is it, 13 whatever. Anyways, in comparison to actually buying this bookcase I got, that's particle board, for, I think the going price is like somewhere around $70. I got 2 of them for roughly, including the buyer's premium, of about $20, I'd say. Because I bid like $10 per item. I ended up winning them somewhere around 6 or something. So what? 6, 3. That would be what? 60 times 3 would be 18. So that'd be 7. About $8 per. So yeah, a little less than $20 in total. You got to go and pick the shit up at the MacBids. There's multiple locations. I only stick with the one closest to me, because otherwise you be pay a transfer fee, which I don't want to pay. Extra $5. Makes sense if you're buying a $100 or $1,000 computer from MacBids and you're willing to fix it up. $5, drop in the bucket. When you're buying a piece of shit particle board bookcase, $5 is a lot, because I ended up spending, like I said, less than $20, probably closer to $15 for 2 bookcases. Now you say, why 2 bookcases, Christopher? Well, originally I was planning on building up 2 bookcases. I may still build up 2 bookcases, but what I discovered was the bookcase is designed in such a way where you create, hard to explain, but you essentially create 2 bookcases and you put them on top of each other and they connect in the center. So imagine I don't know, let's say a 2.5 foot bookshelf. Okay, so it has a bottom and then it has a top. Okay, and then you slot the second portion of the bookcase on top of the first one, so that middle shelf smack dab between the top and the bottom is not movable. However, they give you a number of other movable shelves that you can put in. But the way I have it now set up, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 shelves. Now, an individual bookcase only comes with not counting the middle. Well, okay, so I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have 5 shelves put in here. I'm sorry, because the middle one can't be moved up or down, and the bottom portion also counts as a shelf. So the bookcase I bought comes with 1, 2, 3 shelves, essentially. So I took some shelves from the second one, and I took the working pieces from the second one and combined them with the first one. So I got rid of the broken pieces that were in the first part and broken pieces were in the second part, and put together essentially one bookshelf. Now again, bookshelf, you buy it on Amazon, it's going to run you about $50. I saved close to $20 to $30, maybe more, by buying these 2 bookshelves and combining them to make one workable bookshelf, because again, my DVDs are only so high and I only want a little bit of space above them. So I've got the DVDs set up so that I can pull them out easily enough. Sort of like if you with books, you want to leave a little space at the top so you can put your finger in to grab it and pull it out. Same thing here. So I basically have everything set up. Unfortunately, towards the bottom here, where I ended up putting books on the bottom because I ran out of DVDs. Put the books on the bottom. They take up a little bit more space, but I could not space them out quite enough to have an extra shelf on the bottom half of this. So I'm very pleased. It helped to remove the mainly wood thing that I'm planning on converting into sort of like an alcohol store slash glass storing thing. And then I'll be able, if I want to, I can buy probably 2 more of these bookshelves or 1 more bookshelf and use the leftover pieces that aren't broken to make another bookshelf. There'll probably be a shelf short, and I don't exactly have anything really to put on the shelf. I've got all my books up, I've got all my DVDs up. Well, I should say I have most of my books up and I have most of my DVDs up. But once I fill out my other bookshelf, I have a half bookshelf. It's about, I'd say, 4 foot tall or so. Once I fill that out, I'm sure everything's going to be back to normal. A lot of rearranging is sort of what I'm trying to get at. Anyways, as you can see, it's taken me a long time to start working on that fucking tower. I haven't even started to build it yet because I'm trying to fucking balance out my economy, because Kingsmore, Oakshade, they're doing pretty good. Castle Keep's doing okay as well. I created Driftmore as an extra little city here to start making iron, even though I don't technically need to do it. However, the village behind um, Elmridge not doing super great. They started out okay. I kind of overexpanded if you're paying attention to what I was doing, and now I'm sort of paying the price for this. So it's going to be a while before this sheep area farm gets back up on its feet, because I was trying to do the sheep and the wood thing, and there's not enough guys right now to do that. If I expand the town a little bit more and get more villagers in there, I'll probably be able to get this place back on track. But right now they're sort of lagging because they're not super happy, and that means that they're lagging behind Kingsmore and the other villages I've created. Again, like I said, I probably shouldn't have created, well, I didn't say this, but I'll say this now. I probably shouldn't have created that extra village that produces the iron, Driftmore, because it's obviously pulling resources, wood, potatoes, sheep, away, planks away from the other villages. It's probably slowing down the progression of getting through this tutorial, where I ultimately need to create a tower, which I have no idea what the tower does. It probably has something to do with some gimmick that's going to come with the actual game when it's done, i.e. there's probably raiders that come in. You need to defend against the raiders by using not only the knights that are in your castle keep. Again, I'm speculating here. I don't know what the the actual developers are planning to do here, but I'm guessing the castle keep's probably something to either expand your vision or protect the villages, whatever, or it probably has some purpose. Other than what we're talking about right here and right now. I'm thinking a little too... Okay, so in other video games, there's a concept called building tall versus building wide, and you can apply it to a number of different genres. Sort of one of the ones that I'm most familiar with is Civilization. You either choose to build wide, i.e. you expand outward and build lots of cities, and then because you're building lots of cities, they require a lot of investment, but because you're investing in them, you can also generally benefit as you start getting towards the end game, because while it's slower to build up your cities, as you have multiple ones, they take resources in here, there, and everywhere. It's more difficult to balance out the happiness factor in some of the later Civilization games. It gives you a bonus as you get towards the end of the game, because all of your cities are up and running, and that allows you to hopefully build towards the end. Whereas building tall means that you don't expand as much, but you focus on what you have city-wise, and you try to maximize by not investing in other cities. You're investing strictly in one or two or three cities, and you min-max those cities to their maximum in the hopes that you get ahead of, say, a person who's playing wide instead of playing tall. Now, this is also applied to other things, like example would be if you've ever played StarCraft, that can be also kind of applied to certain playstyles. There's three factions. There's the Terrans, there's the Protoss, and there's the Zerg. The Zerg play very wide. Their job is to expand as quickly as possible, because their units, you don't get these above and beyond units that'll basically tank or take over the game like the Protoss and the Terran have, but you can play very quickly, and that allows you to expand quickly, and allows you to eat up all the resources quickly, which can then allow you to create a lot of very small, very fast armies that you can use to try to delay and or destroy your opponent's economy, and then ultimately win the match. Whereas Protoss tend to be the opposite, where they prefer to play tall, where you play the long, sort of a long game in terms of build up, and then ultimately your units tend to be stronger than anything else that's on the board, quote unquote. The Terran sort of keep up with that, and then the Zerg harassment can delay your economy to the point that it's difficult for you to play tall. And then the Terran are a little bit in between, whereas the Protoss and the Zerg can be a little bit flexible in the terms of the way they do things. You know, upgrades and that. When you're playing... I'm talking about shit I don't actually know. I don't actually play... I don't play StarCraft or StarCraft 2 anywhere close to a professional level. I played in the most amateur me versus the computer type thing. And I have not played probably any StarCraft in years. Maybe a decade. But... sort of get to the point of my story here. There is tall and wide play in those campaigns. You have to know what your faction's good at, and you need to play to that faction's strength. Because if you're playing Zerg like you try to play Terran, or you play Protoss, you're going to be too slow and you're going to lose. And if you try to play Terran or Protoss like you play Zerg, you're not gonna have the army. You're gonna expand too quickly and ultimately get attacked, and you're not gonna have the army to defend, because you have to balance economy versus army until you get to what is basically what they call maximum, which I think is 200 units, which again depends on... everything's balanced in StarCraft, so 200 Protoss units is not nearly as many as, say, 200 Zerg units. However, despite the fact that you have many more Zerg units than you have Protoss units, they're roughly balanced depending on how you pick, you know, rock, paper, scissors bullshit. Alright. So, we started building the tower, and this is me skipping over a half an hour's worth of bullshit because I did not realize that my castle was eating all of my wood. So instead of the wood and planks and iron and what is this, wheat? I guess this is wheat going to make the stuff. It was getting eaten up by the planks were getting eaten up by my castle. My castle keeps selling them instead of trading them to this Hymir city. So this is me skipping over after realizing the fuck up I made, which took me a half an hour to realize. And now this is going to be me finishing off the tower here shortly, because this is me now physically buying the wood needed, or I'm sorry, the planks needed to complete the rest of this tower. So tower will be done in a couple minutes, 1-2 more minutes, and then we'll cut the episode here and we'll move on to some other game. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna play next. Might be another demo, might be a new playthrough, we'll see. But until then, I hope you guys all have a good one, and until then, I'll see you then.